Heading into the 2023 season, Northwestern felt like they were about to have a disaster of a year. They had a major hazing scandal break, saw their head coach, who many believed would be the only guy who could know how to win there, fired, and now needed to figure out what was next. On top of that all, they were coming off a 3-9 season in 2021 and a 1-11 season in 2022. A bowl game seemed unlikely heading into the season. Well, Northwestern players felt differently and not only made it to a bowl game, but won it. This is the story of Northwestern football's crazy 2023 season. This is the rise of Northwestern. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. This video caps off me uploading every day since the week of Thanksgiving to Christmas. I have some exciting things planned for 2024 you won't want to miss out on. Also, let me know what teams you want me to talk about in the new year in the comments section below. Heading into the 2023 season, it looked like Pat Fitzgerald would be leading the Wildcats for his 18th season. Fitzgerald was everything when it came to Northwestern football. He played linebacker for them, being named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year twice, and was a two-time consensus All-American. After his NFL career, he got into coaching, making stops at Maryland and Colorado as a grad assistant before being named the linebackers and safety coach at Idaho. And then he returned home to Northwestern in 2001, serving multiple different roles before being named head coach. He was always a name to watch when it came to the college football coaching carousel and consistently turned down bigger opportunities to stay at his alma mater. He helped usher in a new era at Northwestern, helping get the funding to modernize different facilities, get a rebuilt stadium, and looked to be a lifer at Northwestern. But as Harvey Dent said in Batman, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. A hazing scandal came to light at Northwestern when it came to the football program, and in early July, Fitzgerald was suspended for 2 weeks after confirmed reports of hazing were found. It was some disgusting things that occurred that I will not repeat, but according to the accuser, he believed that Fitz knew everything that was going on. When investigator Maggie Hickey looked into it, she felt those claims were supported by evidence, and Fitzgerald was fired on July 10th. It was a heartbreaking end for the school's winningest head coach with a record of 110 and 101. He led the school to 10 bowl games and 2 Big Ten championship games. Before he had become head coach at Northwestern, they had only been to a bowl game 6 times in 123 years. The man who was given the responsibility to replace Fitzgerald was David Braun. Braun had just joined the Northwestern coaching staff after coaching at North Dakota State as a defensive coordinator and safeties coach. He had also spent time at Winona State, Culver Stockton, UC Davis, and Northern Iowa. Braun was thrown into the fire. Not only did Northwestern have a hazing scandal going on, they were coming off 3 or less wins in 3 of the past 4 seasons and looked to be in a major slide. In 2022, the offense could not stop turning the ball over, and the defense had allowed over 30 points per game 15 times combined in 2021 and 2022. David Braun came in from North Dakota State to try to fix the defense, and now he was in charge of the whole show. Heading into the 2023 season, the Wildcats were projected to go 3-9 according to College Football News, and no one was going to really blame Braun if they continued to be bad. During Big Ten Media Day, Braun was thrown onto the podium by Northwestern, becoming the first person from the school to speak about the situation since everything went down. This was a guy who had just come to Northwestern only a few months earlier. He had been head coach for 12 days and was being asked about everything that went down. Neither Northwestern president nor their athletic director decided to show their faces at Big Ten Media Day. They instead threw the new guy to the Sharks. While Braun was put on the podium for 45 minutes, Derek Gregg was nowhere to be seen. Illinois athletic director Josh Whitman stood off to the side while his football coach Brett Bielema spoke. So did Michigan State's athletic director Alan Haller, while his coach Mel Tucker was on the stage. Penn State's Pat Kraft and Ohio State's Gene Smith were circulating the stadium floor. The players did not even make the trip to the Big Ten Media Day, not wanting the hazing scandal to be a distraction for the upcoming season. Pat Ford from Sports Illustrated wrote back in July, "Despite the small college pedigree, Braun provided the first non-embarrassing representation of Northwestern in the last several weeks. His voice caught and eyes watered at one point Wednesday when talking about the support he's received since being thrust into the head coaching position. Mind you, Braun was thrown into it all while his wife was due any day now with their 3rd child. After his time on the podium, he let out a deep breath as he survived something that he was not even a part of, without the help of those who were employed at the school when everything went down. Ford goes on to write, "He just done more than any of his no-account hide-and-seek bosses at Northwestern University have done in weeks, by making himself available for an extensive public interview about the smoking crater of a football program he inherited. People did not expect much from Northwestern this season, with some even coming out and saying they would not be surprised if they did not win a game at all." Heading into the season, Braun was able to keep the roster together when many expected a mass exodus of players. They bought into the vision he was selling. They opened up the 2023 season with the road loss to Rutgers 24-7, which did not surprise many. A lot believe Braun was only promoted because he was one of the newest head coaches on the staff, not around when the hazing scandal went down. But then they won a game 38-7 over UTEP. Yes, it was only UTEP, but it snapped a 12-game losing streak for the Wildcats dating back to their season-opening win in Ireland in 2022. It was the first home win since they beat Rutgers on October 16, 2021. They were then beaten on the road by Duke 38-14, and it seemed like the program had come back down to reality. But then they won their first Big Ten game since that Nebraska matchup in Ireland when they beat Minnesota at home in overtime 37-34. Braun had a team expected to not win a game all year, sitting at 2-2. They then dropped the game to Penn State 41-13, but rebounded with a 23-20 win over Howard. That was followed by a loss to Nebraska 17-9 before they beat Maryland 33-27 to sit at 4-4 heading into the month of November. Win 2 of their last 4 games and they were going to be bowl eligible. Braun all of a sudden was viewed as a potential replacement full-time for Fitzgerald, as he was able to get his players playing good football and tuned out the distraction caused under the previous regime. Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz told the media, "Northwestern looks to be a team that's really playing well, playing with confidence, playing with energy, and showing improvement week to week." Even with everything that had gone down heading into the season, if they played their cards right, they were still mathematically able to play for the Big Ten title, winning the West. In a hard-fought battle against Iowa at Wrigley Field, the two went into half-tied 0-0. Iowa struck first when they scored with 9 minutes left in the third quarter. With a minute 50 left in the fourth, Brendan Sullivan found Cam Johnson on a 5-yard passing touchdown to tie the game. It looked like it may go to overtime, but then Iowa's Drew Stevens hit a 53-yard field goal with 14 seconds left to give the Hawkeyes the win. The following week, Northwestern outplayed my Badgers, beating Wisconsin 24-10 in Camp Randall to snap their 14-game road losing streak. After the game, it was announced that David Braun was going to be the full-time head coach as they removed the interim tag. The Athletic's Chris Vanini wrote, "It became impossible to deny the massive improvement the program has made under Braun this season. With Purdue and Illinois to close the season out, it's not unreasonable the Wildcats could go 7-5 this year. For a long time, the conventional wisdom was that only Fitzgerald could keep Northwestern as a winning program because he was the only one to sustain success and was willing to stick around. He got longer and bigger contracts, a new practice facility, and became one of the most influential people at the school. It turns out an assistant coach hired in January has the ability to win at Northwestern too. Northwestern became bowl eligible with the win over Purdue the following week and finished off the regular season with a thrilling 45-43 win over Illinois on the road to move to 7-5. The most wins for the program since the 2020 shortened season and most wins for a first-year head coach at Northwestern since 1903. David Braun would be named the consensus Big Ten Coach of the Year. Heading into their bowl game against Utah, they were 6-point underdogs. But Northwestern would pull off a 14-7 win to beat the Utes in the Las Vegas Bowl, giving Northwestern their most wins since 2018 when they went 9-5, and their first bowl win since 2020 when they won the Citrus Bowl. It's Northwestern's 4th straight win as they end the season 8-5. David Braun was thrown into the fire but succeeded throughout the year, and it looks like he may have Northwestern football on the rise. It is truly amazing what he was able to accomplish this year. Now, before I close this video out, I want to wish y'all a happy holidays and Merry Christmas. This caps off a long sprint to the end of the year for me, and this may be my last video of 2023. Thank you for all the support, and if I don't see y'all until 2024, have a happy new year. I can't wait to show y'all what we have planned. Thank you for everything. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Have a happy holidays, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.